Hello everyone, my name is Matias Dizeo and today I'm going to teach you one of the most practical concepts in microeconomics, the price elasticity of demand. And by the end of this video, you're hopefully going to see exactly how it shows up in the real world every single day, from government policy to the rent that you pay every month. So I'll start with a question. Think about the last time gas prices went up. Most people, they complained, but they still pulled up to the gas station and they filled up their tank. Now think about what happened the last time Netflix raised its price by just a few dollars. Millions of people canceled their subscriptions almost immediately. The same idea, a price increase, but two completely different reactions from consumers. Why does that happen? What makes people shrug off one price hike and walk away from another? This is exactly what the elasticity of demand answers. It measures how sensitive buyers are to change in price. And once you understand it, you start seeing it everywhere. So the formula is simple. Elasticity equals the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. You're just comparing how much demand moved relative to how much the price moved. The result is almost always negative because price and quantity move in opposite directions. When price goes up, demand goes down. That's just the law of demand. But for elasticity, we focus on the absolute value, the size of the number, and not the sign. If the absolute value is greater than 1, demand is elastic. Buyers are responsive to price changes. If it's less than 1, it's inelastic. The price can move significantly and demand barely flinches. And if it equals exactly 1, that unit is elastic. Quantity and price are moving in perfect proportion to each other. Those three cases are the foundation of everything that we're covering today. So now let's put real numbers to this so it stops being abstract. We'll use the city of Miami. Let's say that they raise parking rates in Brickell from $2 an hour to $2.50. That's a 25% price increase. As a result, the number of spots being used drops from 1,000 per hour down to 800, a 20% decrease in quantity demanded. Plug it into the formula, negative 20% divided by 25%, and you get negative 0.8. The absolute value is 0.8, which is less than 1. So parking demand in Brickell is inelastic, and that makes sense. People driving downtown to work, meet a client, or run an errand still need a park. A 50% increase isn't going to make them turn around and go home. They don't have a readily available substitute, so demand holds relatively steady even as price goes up. And here's why this matters. The city now knows that it can raise parking prices to free up spots and reduce congestion without completely driving away the people who come downtown to do business. That is elasticity being used as a direct policy tool by a local government. Now, let's look at what elasticity actually looks like on a graph, because the visual makes this a lot more intuitive. On the left, you have an elastic demand curve. Notice how flat the line is. That flatness is telling you something important. Even a small change in price causes a large change in quantity demanded. Buyers are very responsive. If the price drops a little, they flood in. If it goes up a little, they leave. Think about airline tickets, a brand of sneakers, a streaming service. If one option raises its price, consumers have plenty of alternatives and they will switch. Now look at the right side, the inelastic demand curve. Notice how steep it is. That steep slope is telling you the opposite story. Even a large price increase only produces a small drop in quantity. People keep buying because they need to. So your visual rule of thumb is this. Flat curve means elastic, steep curve means inelastic. Keep this in your head and these graphs will always make sense. So now, where does this show up in real life? On the elastic side, think about luxuries, vacations, designer clothing, gym memberships, restaurant meals that aren't a necessity. These are the things where consumers have options and can wait or substitute. If the price goes up, they find an alternative or go without. On the inelastic side, think about true necessities, rent, gasoline, prescription medication, electricity. You can't decide not to pay your electric bill because it went up. You can't skip your medication. So demand stays relatively stable because consumers have no substitute. no choice. Now, this connects directly to something I deal with in my own work. I'm in real estate, and housing demand is one of the clearest examples of inelastic demand that you will find. When rents go up, and we've seen them go up all over South Florida over the last few years, most people don't just stop renting. They'll get a roommate, they'll downsize, but they will always need a place to live. So that inelasticity is exactly why the rental market can sustain significant price increases without landlords seeing their units sit empty. And governments use this same thinking when designing policy at every level. Parking rates, gas taxes, housing subsidies. Elasticity is the tool that answers the question of how much behavior will actually change when you change a price. That is price elasticity of demand. I hope that it gave you guys a clear picture of what it was, how to calculate it, and why it matters way more beyond the textbook. Thank you for watching.